Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the replay. Yeah. Whew. Things are changing and they're changing fast. All right. Amazing. So, couple things. Of course, it's a full moon in Virgo, and it is a very powerful, potent full moon. I don't want to close my window, so I'm going to just sort of go off to the side. Um, this is a well, I'm going to say nothing is ever easy. I mean, there's so many news, so much is happening all at once, but um I feel nothing is ever what you expect it to look like and be. And I was just watching a um who is it? Maybe it was Tim Pool and something that he put out on X, and he was put it's a young girl who crying because she can't afford shit. You know, she feels like she's been given a false narrative of how life is supposed to be, and she can't afford the beautiful house she wants, and this and that. Life isn't what I guess you expect it to be. And the way I was raised, that's the way I was raised. It's like you want it to be X, Y, and Z, and you get E, P, K, L, it's all over the place. And then of course the drama and everything else that comes along with it, because it's not going to your way. Yet even in different when study different holy texts, there's many parts of it, and it tells you that nothing's going to go your way. Life's going to be basically a shit show, and if you're expecting it to go a certain way, well, probably won't. It probably won't. And hey, Declan Joe. But that's where you have to find your flow. That's where you have to come in, and the reality that you think it should be, you got to let it go, right? You can't just hold it on. I was because I'm doing a Bible study right now, and just studying different the Bible, and I'm doing a study within um uh what is it called? The Baba Gita. And there's so many correlations with stories that overlap within each. It's really cool. But anyways, um one was written many centuries, thousands of years before the Bible, right? But anyways, within the ancient texts, and there's one, like, you want it to go certain way, like you want it to happen this way, and it shows you it's like, no, it's not necessarily going to happen the way you want it. You want to go in and refuge and go be by yourself, and just to figure things out. And it's saying, no, you got to get out there, you got to be involved, you got this and this and this to do. You can't just sit around and do nothing. And this is where you have to find your flow, and where the reality to let go. And especially when you have a full moon, and you have the full moon with Mercury and with Saturn, which is really accelerating things on how you are creating your spiritual world, because that's what Pisces is about, your spiritual connection. What is that spiritual connection? And it can feel very out of sorts, and it's to let go of the attachments of what is needed, what you need, what you want, right? You got to let go of the attachments. And one of the things I say to people sometimes, I'm saying, see Charlene's here. It's like, say, well, it's not going to be the way that you think it's going to be. And it's just like, what the fuck does that mean? And they're like, what do you mean? It's not going to be what I mean. It's just not. Just the way that you think the world is going to be, or you have a thought of the way the world is going to be. It's not. It's not going to be that way. I mean, there is so much change that is coming in, that it is very difficult for our little human minds to really comprehend a lot of the changes that are coming in. I was watching Neil McCoy yesterday, and he was showing. Now we're going to go into the financials, because I know the financials are really going to be going crazy. There is a stock that just took off, and it's an AI stock, and it's Nvidia, I believe it's called, and it's the highest that any stock that has ever been. And it is because they make I guess like a chip. They make this thing chip. I don't know. I'm not a computer person. But you need it. You need this in order for you to program, to update, to do whatever it is that you need to do in your computer. The computers are changing. Now, with that, as he was talking, but then he was showing all of the we're going, okay, there's that, put that over here. Okay, chunk. Now we got to go over here because I got to make this quick because I have an appointment that I have to go to. There's so much. I might have to make this two part, might have to come back tonight and do a second part. But you have people like Oprah, Beyonce, anyways, a lot of big name actors and actresses and people who are in the know selling their multi-million dollar homes and letting them go. Homes that are worth like hundreds, like Oprah's is like, I don't know, $200 million, another one's $16 million, and all over. They're selling it. You're also seeing senators sell off their stock like never before. So you're seeing this, that they know something's coming, something's happening. And as I say, February, the end of February next week. Yeah, get ready. There's going to be some calamity or some kind of craziness that's going to come in that's going to mark the spot. But because you're hearing X everywhere, right? But this is where the idea of what you think it should be. Now we can go into back to that Nvidia stock and the stock of saying, "Oh, well, I don't want AI. AI is fucked and I don't want it." Well, where Pluto is in Aquarius, and when he finally is there full time in November, we are in the exact another position of the Industrial Revolution. And part of the Industrial Revolution, and within the time frame, this is when the first press came out. Now think about it. A lot of people may have been against that, like, oh, that's evil. I don't want anything printing, it's going to be evil. It's going to print all sorts of things, right? The printing press. And, and it's like, but the thing is, nobody went back to written word and writing out 1,000 copies of a book. Like, you can't do that. You can't write out 1,000. Well, you could if you wanted to, but it's going to take you a hell of a lot of time to write it out, bind it, edit it, the whole nine yards of what it is to produce a book. Also, the financing that came out to finance the steam engine, and when the steam engine was really making its force. The steam engine has been around, or the formats of steam engine date back quite far, but actually bringing it into existence and bringing it into that it was being utilized on a world scale. Bringing in the steam engine and everything also changed the way people interact and connect too, because all of a sudden people were able to take holidays and go to different areas and see different things that they never had privy to do before. So changes in travel, change in connection, and how we were connecting, all having to do with the Industrial Revolution and the changes that were coming in. And of course that comes into financing and the money. Going back to all these people selling off stock, we know that there's some kind of change, innovative change, that is going to be coming in. Is it going to be like the Great Depression where 80% of the market just drops away? We'll see. September, October, November. We'll see if that, what exactly is that going to be. But there is a change that's coming in within finances. And this Virgo moon is a practicality of how to get your eggs in a row. But the thing is that you're to be in a row, but it's a time to really start to look at what are the changes that are coming in and how can I get in on it, or how can I learn about it? How can I, because I'm not going to go create a whole new computer system. I'm not going to create my own app, because creating your own app, I mean, you see these guys on Instagram, oh, create your app and it's going to be this, this, and this. No, because if your app is not connected to Google Play, or if it's not connected with Apple's not going to take your app. And that's thousands of dollars. And I mean thousands of dollars to get your app going, to be able to go on Apple and then on Google Androids. It's not just some guy programming it because it has to have a host and you have to have thousands of dollars to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm playing in the small, I'm playing in the kiddies pool over here, people. So that's where I'm at. If I was younger, if I was in my 20s right now, I would definitely get on the ball game of learning AI. I would definitely get on the ball game of how knowing how to program and work with artificial intelligence and utilizing that. Because the thing is that if you're not on that train and you are wanting to stay over here in little kiddie pool, you're going to find that the way that you want the world to be or the way you think the world's going to be, it's not going to be. It's going to be something totally that you can't exist. PayPal, you go Google PayPal, go on PayPal's page right now, and how PayPal has changed. It is connected to AI. Now, what's so like crazy about it is that they have a setup, and you got to pay for a little bit extra. But if you have a storefront and you're using Google or you're using PayPal, it knows your consumer and who's bought your stuff before and how to target that person. If you have another sale, if you have something else, that they will go in and say, hey, you were looking at this price, look at it's back down at this price, ready for you to purchase now. Absolutely fabulous. So changing the way that you buy, changing the way that you connect with your consumer. So whole new ball game there. And it's important because you can't just sit and just sit in the background and not do anything. Yeah, it's this is coming in and it's getting you to let go of attachments of the needs and the wants and why, like, and getting rid of that little bitch inside of yourself and that doesn't want to do anything or learn anything because you're afraid. And that's a hard one because it's just like you can sit there and complain and say, "Oh, woe is me. I don't have any money in my account. I don't have anything." This is an energy of say, "Well, what are you going to do about it? You might have no money. What are you doing? Are you going to sell something? Are you going to get out there and connect? Are you applying for jobs? Are you promoting whatever it is that you have? Or are you sitting there whining and crying, "Oh, wow, nobody's coming in. Nobody's doing this or nobody's doing that, and I don't have this, and everybody else gets it." This is like, nah, 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 nah. This is, especially with this full moon, this is energetic. This is pushing. This is kicking your ass to get the fuck out the door and get motivated and get things going. But you have that Chiron in North Node, which is a stale energy and which can get you into that little victim bitchy mode that, oh, nothing ever works for me. But it's in Aries. I want to be innovative. I can't look at everybody else. Boo-hoo is me. And it's like, no, it's not about boo-hoo's you. This is about, doing something. You also have Uranus and Taurus. Get out there, you do something. Start creating, start being that innovative. And honestly, I know I know how old I am, but there are certain things that for me in creating and doing, and I want to stay as innovative and doing the things I want to do and connecting. And you're going to find the way that you are connecting with your consumer is going to change drastically within a year. When you start seeing a stock like that go up, and the thing is that you need that part in order to create your apps, in order to create whatever you are, for programming or doing any types of programming. So it's something that is needed in today's world. And they were able to do it. They were able to stay innovative and continue to do it. And they've been around since 1998. So they've been around for a while. They came out with when the .com was really big at 2000. And they've sort of changed and adapted and created to where they are now. But they were seeing things further along the line than what other people were looking at. And where other people, were thinking that, well, that's crazy. That's going to be in another 100 years. No, it's not. It's now. The innovations and things that are going to be coming in rapidly, especially with Pluto and Aquarius. Aquarius is the scientific brain. It's new inventions. It's electrical. It's connection. So it's an electrical connection of what it is that you're going to create. You're also going to see crazy things like that are happening, that they're coming out about, solar flares. We had 3 within less than 72 hours, or less than 48 hours, of solar flares hitting the earth, and hitting the earth at a certain angle at sunrise, and how it hit. And it hit the angle where it hit the United States and knocked out their Wi-Fi, all their cell phone towers, and knocked it out. It wasn't a cyber attack. Well, maybe, I don't know. But I'm just going by the solar flares. But these solar flares are something that are just going to be ramping up even more, right? And more of them are going to be coming in. And they range between 1 and 5. 3 is like that's getting extreme. And especially how they're flashing towards the earth. So it's coming in, making changes, getting us to really get more innovative and connected in different ways. Funny, another, on that thing too, there's so much information I got here that I don't think I can get through it. I got to get going. Um, is that the thing to do with landlines, and a lot of places are this has happened a long time, that a lot of places they're not allowing landlines. So landlines are going to be disconnected, unless, landlines are usually connected to your Wi-Fi or fiber optics anyways. It's not something that's plugged into the wall. If you have one that's plugged into the wall, you're going to find within the next few years it's not going to be able to work, because those lines are going to be dead. um, so they're going to be changing in different ways. So there's that's coming out. The other thing, especially with all this, I have a landline at home. Yeah, a lot of people do, but I'm going to just say within the next 5 years, it's probably going to be gone. That landline is not going to work unless you're connected with the Wi-Fi or fiber optics. It's not. You're not going to have the ones that work in the wall. Those lines are going to be dead. Although landlines are the ones that are the connection and get people connected. So, um, it's just like, if you remember when they were changing the antennas on when TVs were changing, and nobody wanted to get rid of their certain antenna. They didn't want to get rid of their certain TV because this is the TV that we use. And now you can't, if you plug in those TVs, they won't work. They won't pick up any signal. And that's the same way with the landlines. They're not going to be picking up any signal for you to be able to utilize that phone unless you're connected to the Wi-Fi. Okay, or the fiber optics. If that's because the way things are going to go, they're going to change so rapidly and so quickly. It's having to adapt, having to be able to pivot, and to be able to pivot, to learn to step into it. Now, of course, there's people my generation and older that don't want to pivot. People 50 plus and older, we're going to say, they don't want to pivot. But you're going to have to pivot, because there's going to be new things that are coming in, new ways of going in. Um, the British Parliament are talking about selling all the AHS, which is their health system, um, the British health system, and they're wanting to sell everybody's information to a company so that each person will have an AI doctor. Interesting. Interesting. Now, a lot of people are like, wow, I don't want that happening. It's a great big debate right now. And you think, if they're doing it, they're already starting to do it in Canada. So this is where it's like, if you're in a remote place and whatever, you can connect to an AI doctor like that. That's what they want you to be able to do. And you just list whatever's going on, and they can do the diagnosis and everything, and boom, it's done. That's how crazy, and we're gonna be seeing it, and I'm putting 5 years. I'm gonna say it's probably gonna be less, with everything, especially as Pluto starts moving and starts going, on its lovely little merry way through Aquarius. So we're seeing a lot of change that is coming in. And that's where reality, to let go of what you think reality should look like, or what you think you should be, or where you should be, and how you should be. And it's like, again, we're coming to that place of surrender, of releasing and saying, hey, I got to let it go. I can't control it all. If I want to make a change, I have to look at and sit quietly to listen to the information that is coming forth and allow myself not to get overly emotional about the information that's coming in and try and control it and let it go and come into more of the intuitive part. Because intuition, when I'm working with intuition, I'm giving somebody a reading and everything. It's a flow. It's boom, 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 boom. I'm flowing. I'm just coming out and I'm just like boom, boom, boom. Information's coming in. Is there an emotion with it? Not really, I'm gonna say. I can get a feeling, yeah, that's really sad, and if I'm some mediumship, if the person comes through and they're crying, I will cry to reflect what it is that they are crying, and that's with a mediumship one. But when it's, with a psychic reading, and if I am in the spirit and in now, because spirit doesn't see good or bad, it just sees, this is what it is, there you go, and allowing for that flow to happen. And coming in with that flow, coming in with that and allowing yourself, yeah, this is the energy I need to go into. But if I start saying, oh my God, that feels so horrible, or that feels ugh, or that, you're going to get really muddled and all over the pot, and you're going to be feeling overwhelmed. So this is really an energy of tough growing up and maturity and saying, come on. It's with the wheat, you're the shaft from the wheat. You're taking things apart, you're separating things, putting things to where they need to go. And it could be like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's just so hard. But that's your emotion and that's your ego holding you back. So we're on a crazy journey right now. And the next few days are going to be extremely transformational for us all. And so we need to hang on. We need to trust, have faith, and have the discernment and reverence within outside ourselves to be able to surrender to what we need to surrender to within our lives at this time in order to go forward. So on that note, new moon reading, or the full moon reading, should be out for everybody. So they should have gotten their full moon reading already. So if you are still wanting one, definitely get a hold of me. They're $40 and I will send you out. I'm just going to pull one card and then I'm out of here, baby. So see the skills that you have. You're all very skillful. You all have gifts. You all have talent. But look at the talents that you do have. What have you been working on? But something new is coming in. Don't be afraid of what new is coming in. Don't be afraid of that newness that's coming in. It's time to embrace it. A lot of things that are coming in, I don't like, but I'm watching, I'm seeing what's coming in. The other thing, and I'm just going to throw this out, is all the information that's coming out about the elixir and the people who've taken the elixir. In the United States, the Red Cross is the one who takes blood, not in Canada. Canada has a different sector to that. It's called the Canadian blood donors or something like that. In the United States, it's the Red Cross. People up here in Canada get it confused, just saying. We're Canadian, they're American, there's a line. It's called the 49th parallel. Anyways, in the United States, they have where you have to answer a question before you can donate blood in the United States at this time. If you have had a certain elixir and you've had any adverse things that have happened, including ringing in the air, you're not allowed to donate blood. And with what Dr. John came out about what they've been finding in post-mortem, what morticians have been finding in people, is making a big stir on the internet right now. And more of that John Campbell has been coming out and talking about, and the death stats that are coming out right now are just crazy. And so it's amazing. Even some of the newscasters are coming out. There was a newscaster in there talking about some of the adverse effects of what's happening with the shot. And one of the newscaster, I think it was on CNN, and she was just like, "Oh, I had that at Christmas time." And you could just see the switch on her was just like, "What the fuck did I just do?" Right? So information is coming out very quickly for people, and it's there. It's coming out in black and white. Even the thing about shedding is coming out, and the information. Pfizer's come out with it. Moderna has come out with the information and showing that yes, you do shed when you have had the shot. So that is why, and I'm going to tell you that many times when I've gone in, when it was first coming out, and I went into a market and I said, I got to get the fuck out of here. It was very difficult for me to do readings there. I felt grumpy, overwhelmed. It was just like, nah, there's shit happening in here, because 90% of the people that were at that market, love my pagans, were elixired. Going into when I go shopping, I hate going grocery shopping. If I go in, I'm going in. I know what I want. I want out. When I worked at Save on Foods, I stayed in my spot. I didn't really go out and stuff, you know? And that information is coming out, whether you want it to believe it or not. And this is nothing on anybody who's ever taken the shot, because you were coerced, you were forced. Yeah, people do things when they're in desperation. They sign things when they're in desperation. We've seen that. We've seen it with the witch hunts and what they did to the women, right? Just because you looked at somebody wrong, ooh, you're a witch, you're this, you're that. But this is a time of healing and great change, and bringing in the great change and the healing. It was biological warfare that they did upon people. And this is part of the wake up. This is part of what people need to be woken up to. There's so many distractions out there for you. But here it's coming back in. And now we're going back to the Virgo full moon. Why does mama say shit? Because it is your health house. It is your health house. People are going to be finding out, and I'm going to, this is a prediction. Love me or hate me. By the new moon in Virgo, you're going to hear so many people come out with more health issues. New moon in Virgo. We're in a full moon in Virgo. Figure out when the new moon is. When Virgo is. That's in August. That's just before Pluto goes back into Capricorn. You're going to find people are going to come out with more issues, more cancer, more things are going to be starting to come out with people, and more adverse and long-term COVID issues are going to come out like crazy. And you're going to be seeing that by the new moon in Virgo. And that's going to fucking scare people, because people were coerced into doing something they didn't really want to do. Many people felt it before it actually went into their body. But I feel so sorry for them. I do, because I know so many people. Like, you got to think, over 2/3 of the world took it. So that means a third. And out of that third of the 2/3 are the ones that are going to be having issues, if not more, and having adverse effects, which is scary. So, don't want to leave you on a humdrum note, but you have the skills, you have the knowledge. It's very important. And the other part too is the vitamin D deficiency. Make sure you're taking your vitamin D and getting your vitamin D. So that's the other part that's coming in too. So much is the world's changing dramatically, and it's going faster than what we can keep up with, but we have to stay strong. You have to have a spiritual base, and that's what all this Pisces energy is going to be about, is connecting to community, connecting with the divine, and how you connect it and bring it in and bring that light into your life. Yeah, but you can be out 2 hours in the sun. That's not going to do much, especially in Canada. Sorry, unless you live in Mexico or the Caribbean, yeah, maybe. You'll be able to get it, but it doesn't last. The thing is that you have to be out 2 hours every day or more, but it does not affect you if you are above the 49th parallel. You have to wait until you're into the heat of summer of when the sun's angle is out, unless you're gonna go sit fully naked out into a snowbank. Just saying. So, get your supplements because it ain't gonna I've heard one nutritionist or whatever, she says, "No, don't take vitamin D." Well, that's great, but she doesn't fucking live in Canada. She lives in the United States, and she doesn't live up north where they don't get sunlight, or in Norway where they don't really get sunlight until just now. So, just saying, everybody, thank you for the fireworks, you know? So, and that's the other thing is that you got to use your discernment and say, okay, well, where the fuck do you live? How do you have this information? That's great for you, but you don't live where there's there is no sunshine, and it gets to minus fucking 50. So, anyways, guys, have a great day. I gotta go. My husband's coming in and going to let me know 5,000 a day. So have a great one. Let me know if you are wanting your reading. Political tensions just got a hold of what words. Yes, I have no idea how to do that. It's you got to learn. You got to learn. It's we all got to learn. Lots of learning right now. Anyways, got to go, guys. Uh, hubby's waiting, and we have to go pick up Mateus. And yeah, so got a crazy busy day, which is good. I love being busy. So have a good one. Bye.